Hello and welcome to episode 6 in the series. For this episode I'll be looking at another car in retro dress. The model I'm reviewing for this episode is the 2015 Holden Racing Team VF Commodore car number 2, driven by Garth Tander at the Townsville 500 that year. HRT was celebrating its 25th anniversary in 2015 and ran special liveries at Townsville, Bathurst and Sydney Olympic Park during that season on both their number 2 and number 22 cars. The Townsville livery was the only retro livery of the trio, however. As always, I will now provide a short history on the car. It was built in 2014 and given the chassis number WR021. It was the third car built by Walkinshaw to the current Car of the Future specifications. The chassis is best remembered for its practice crash at Bathurst in 2014, while driven by Tander's co-driver Warren Luff. The car therefore had to sit out the race on Sunday. The chassis returned to racing in 2015, but was never quite the same after the accident. Things perked up a little with the decision to present both HRT cars in a special livery for the Townsville round. This was one of 3 special liveries run by HRT to celebrate their 25th anniversary. The livery for Townsville was based on their 1997 colours, which also marked Peter Brock's last full-time season in the V8 category. It was a nice looking livery on the original VS Commodore, but was spoiled slightly on the 2015 VF, which had Dayglow red wheels. The car was used by Tander until the Ipswich round of the 2016 season, after which the team gave him a new chassis for the balance of the season. WR021 was then retired to become the spare chassis. It was brought out of retirement in 2017 for the round at Phillip Island after James Courtney's regular chassis WR022 was damaged in the major pile-up at Symonds Plains the round before. Now to the model. This model was produced by Biante Model Cars and is the first model from this company to be reviewed for the series. Biante became the licensed producer of Walkinshaw HRT models in 2015, taking over from Classic Collectibles. The model comes in a cardboard box which contains a Perspex case that fits over a plastic base on which the model is screwed to. The cardboard box does not have any special artwork other than the card insert on the inside, which is styled off the car's livery. There is also a small certificate supplied to indicate that the model is part of a limited edition run of 1008 pieces. I have number 907 out of 1008. Biante have done rather a good job with this model. The Brock-inspired livery is nicely replicated. There is no sign of feathering at the edges of any sign writing. The correct Townsville event logos are located on the front doors above the car number. As a side note, Tander's car ran as Car 02 rather than Car 2, in keeping with Brock's famous Car 05 from 1997. The colours appear to be correct and all signage is legible. The big plus for me is that Biante have opted to fit interiors to their cars in this scale. The icing on the cake would be opening doors and bonnet, but the interior is still a step above classic. With all the praises out of the way, there are 1 or 2 faults. My model was missing the Dunlop stencils on the front left tyre. The front grille inside the front splitter is moulded flat, and would have been better moulded with a mesh-like pattern so it looked more like the prototype. The front wheels could have had a little more camber applied, but this is only a minor thing. Now to the all-important rating. Even with the faults mentioned, I personally think Biante produce a much better model in the current era than classics. For that reason I score this model a 9 out of 10. If I had one tip for Biante, it would be to have some information on the rear of the box detailing a bit about the car and the livery. That would be the cherry on top. Anyway, that concludes episode 6 in the series. Let me know what you thought of it. Episode 7 will be looking at yet another Holden, but don't worry Ford fans, your turn will come in episode 8. Episode 7 will feature a very special car for a current V8 driver. See you next time.